So I'm here to talk with you all, or we are here to talk about using keystorming to try to help you figure out how you might approach faculty development post-pandemic. Our team is listed here on the second slide. We have Katie from Vermont, and we have John from Ohio State. We have Melinda from Ohio State, and I'm from Virginia Commonwealth University. So this is the great team. We have nothing to disclose. We're going to keep rolling so that we have plenty of time for you all to play, because here's our 15-minute plan. We're going to provide some background information, and then we're going to have you put some questions into buckets, and we'll give you more information about that. But we're going to just have brief moments for each bucket, and then we'll wrap up the session. So I'm going to hand it off to Katie to get us started and explain to you what keystorming is. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Welcome, everyone. So this is one of those twofer type presentations where you're going to learn a technique that might be new to you. And if it's not new, well, you can help us out and perfect it. But then we're also going to get down to the really important business of planning for faculty development, because after all, that's what this disruptive day is about. So keystorming, if you're new to it, it's a great way to generate ideas. It's derived from appreciative inquiry. So the idea is, rather than traditional brainstorming, where a lot of times we focus on what hasn't worked, what's not working well, we rush to the solutions. Keystorming, as the big Q might suggest, is all about generating questions, really complicated or complex questions, meaty questions, to help us think about what is possible, what could be, rather than rushing to closure too early. So just briefly, there are 3 stages for it. And the first is setting the stage, so getting everybody ready, knowing that we want open-ended questions if possible. Don't rush to the solution, no lengthy preambles. The second stage, of course, is to brainstorm those great questions. And then the third is to focus on 1 or 2 questions and roll ahead with those. In typical use, it might be about 4 minutes to generate 15 questions. We've got a really short session. We'll see how we do. Just to know that, there are no bad questions. There are questions that are, we really want those that promote divergent thinking, open-ended and complex. So the objectives for this session, as you've heard me say, are to talk about the unique issues related to planning instruction post-pandemic. We're all anxious to figure out what that might look like. We've got lots of opportunities, but we can't do all things for all people. And then in terms of the process for this session, you've heard we're going to have 3 buckets, and those will be around the structure, process, and outcomes for faculty development, just as a way to organize our question generation today. And now we move to the fun part.
And our first question, our first bucket, is the structure and content bucket. On the left side of your screen, of your Jamboard screen, you'll see that there's a little Post-it note icon. If you click on that, you're able to do a Post-it note right on that screen. So we'd like to just cure or collect questions from you all related to structure and content.
So questions related to the design structure of faculty development, professional development events post-pandemic, or whatever we're calling this phase. And so if anyone knows the Jeopardy talk show, you must answer in the form of a question. So don't rush to a solution. Don't tell us what you plan to do or would like to do. Think about the questions that you're considering or your colleagues are thinking about the structure and content of your faculty development. This is a great group. Already we have wonderful questions coming in to help us with our planning. Now that print might be a bit small for some, so I'm happy to read a couple before we move to the next bucket. I see, will we return to face-to-face? What new content can we introduce? How do we hold on to convenience but turn the volume up on engagement? Love it. How to motivate faculty to attend when they're already exhausted? Does everyone need to improve their technology delivery skills and content in education programs? Or should we select core faculty who want the technical skills or technology skills? What about providing food? That one's near and dear to my heart. How to capture past years' experiences. I think this might be a question, more chance for flipped classroom question mark. Sounds a little bit like a statement, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I will have the voice inflection and the implied question at the end of that one.
Okay, so at the top of the Jamboard, there's a little arrow that shows that there are additional pages. So go ahead and click the right arrow to get to bucket 2. And here we're going to talk about questions we have around delivery, process, and relationships. So go ahead and switch over to the next page. I see a couple of people there already. Great. What questions do we have around delivery or relationships or process? Again, some great questions. Katie, do you want to read some of those?
Bucket 2. Again, these are about process and relationship. So what is the best technique to facilitate group work and collaboration? How do we create longitudinal networking and informal networking relationships? What processes are feasible and sustainable? Faculty attendance has been amazing this year. Will it start to drop off? Yes, we're asking that one. I see several around this theme of how do we create relationships if we are still delivering virtually? And I know there's another one about how to engage the virtual attendee when the majority of participants are meeting face-to-face for a session. What to do if colleagues do not want to attend in-person meetings? Great question. Excellent. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your candor.
If you click your arrow again at the top, you'll see bucket 3 is outcomes. So somebody's already helping us. Great. What outcomes, what questions do you have about the outcomes?
Definitely see some around this theme of evaluation of programs in our near future.
Yes.
When there are competing expectations for the type of delivery. How do we measure success? How will we know if doctors feel their needs are met? Should we link outcomes to telehealth outcomes? Should qualitative and quantitative data be collected to allow for more robust understanding of outcomes? How do we know if people are checked in or checked out? How do you measure behavior change? Who is defining outcome metrics? Yeah, great questions.
So we're going to have to exit the Jamboard now. You'll see that we have some references at the end. We have a QR code in case anybody would like to join or get the slides. You're welcome to get the slides through that QR code that should take you to our Google Slides. So appreciate your time today. Thank you so much, everyone. Any final comments from you, Katie?
Adding in the chat, we hope that you'll use this technique in your own work and possibly even use these questions as you plan your faculty development for fall and beyond.
Great.
We encourage you to learn more about the technique. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.